Racewatch 12 with Cade Heidemann is brought to you by Builder's Service.
From Vegas all the way to Miami, NASCAR's top three competed at the mile and a half at Homestead, where the lower series was put on notice by Kyle Larson. The driver of the number 5 Hendrick Chevrolet announced he would be running all three divisions over the weekend, seeking to be only the second driver in history to win all three races on the same weekend. Starting off with the Truck Series, Larson had his work cut out for him, with the only full-time driver with truck wins this season, Cade Heidemann, holding the pole and leading the field to green. The first corner of this race would be the setting of the first caution for Gio Ruggiero, who gets pinched between two trucks, where he loses control and spins, collecting Ben Rhodes. On the restart, Kyle Larson wasted zero time challenging Heidemann for the lead. Heidemann wasn't going down without a fight, though. It took Larson up to lap 28 to finally get around Heidemann with no threat for a crossover. That is until 2 to go, when Heidemann is able to catch the 07, and with a shove from Lane Riggs, he's able to just barely hold the lead and win Stage 1 over the 2021 Cup Series champion. Stage 2 was purely Cade Heidemann domination. The 11 truck was able to hold off runs from both Ty Majeski and Kyle Larson for 10 extra points. 45 to go, Larson's aspirations of triple wins becomes a whole lot harder when he tries going high and hits Lane Riggs instead, going for a spin. Back up front, Ross Chastain is able to pull ahead and launch off turn 2 with a huge run. But only a few laps later, Heidemann is once more able to clear the 44 for the lead. The only thing that would stop Cade Heidemann was a complete shutdown of his truck. From here, Heidemann would have to fight Chastain and Riggs with the laps winding down. He was able to make that deficit back up, only for his engine to shut off a second time with 4 to go, clearing the way for Kyle Larson to battle it out with Lane Riggs. From here, Larson makes short work of the 34 and is able to hold down the lead for his first Truck Series win this season. 1 down, 2 to go for Larson. Next up was the Xfinity race on Saturday, where Kyle would start way down in the middle of the field. A dangerous place to be at the wave of the green flag, where Taylor Gray kicked off the race. Gray held down that lead for the first few laps until Justin Allgaier's car woke up, where he then caught the 54 and ran off with the lead. 25 to go as one Young Money came into the picture. He was able to get past both the 7 and 41 and lead to the second caution of the day for Justin Bonsignore. After the caution, Larson on older tires couldn't compete with those who had fresher tires, allowing Sammy Smith to run off with a Stage 1 victory. Lap 82, Larson once again gets to the point, and this time no caution would get between him and the stage victory. Through the final stretch, Larson looked untouchable with a 10-second lead over second place. Then for the driver of the 17, the worst-case scenario occurred. The caution flew, this time for Taylor Gray, who gets spun on the front. This sets up the race for overtime, and on the green flag, Mayer jumped on top of Kyle Larson, killing his momentum, setting the stage for a battle between Allgaier and Austin Hill. Hill took the white flag, but Allgaier was able to pull off a slide job in front of the 21, where he was then able to hold off the rest of the field for his second win of the season, thwarting Larson's triple win aspirations in the process. Even with Larson's plans for a triple win out the window, he is still looking for his first victory in the one series he is able to collect points from. He wouldn't start in front, though. The pole for the Cup race went to his teammate Alex Bowman, and starting alongside him would be last week's winner Josh Berry. Bowman held down the lead for the first 9 laps before he would be overtaken by Ryan Blaney, having an excellent day. It was lights out with the 12 all through Stage 1, being able to defend the lead even with a caution. The whole field through Stage 2 would shift around, but one thing remained constant. Ryan Blaney was on top until 4 to go, when Denny Hamlin and Kyle Larson on a different pit strategy would be able to get by Blaney and duel it out themselves to the stage victory, where Hamlin just barely prevailed over Larson. On the final stretch, disaster would strike for Ryan Blaney. Easily the fastest car of the race would be taken out of contention with a blown engine for the second time this year. The driver who would step up to the occasion and take advantage of this massive stroke of luck would be pole sitter Alex Bowman, who gets around Bubba Wallace with 30 to go. But just like the truck race, on the long run, Larson was turning faster and faster lap times. At the pace he was going, he would likely catch the 48. 11 to go, Larson makes the pass for second, and then 7 to go, Bowman basically hands Larson the lead when he strikes the fence and kills his speed. Without a late caution to ruin the 5's day for the second time in a row, Kyle Larson was able to run away with a Cup Series win at Homestead, locking himself into the playoffs. Even though it wasn't all 3 like he had hoped, 2 of 3 isn't bad at all. With Larson's win, here are the points as they stand. Hendrick locks out the top 3 spots, with Larson and Bowman moving up the ranks. William Byron, even despite a 12th place finish, maintains his lead over the field by 36 points. Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell round out the top 5, with the closest forward being Chris Buescher in 9th. Chase Briscoe returns to the top 16 with a strong 4th place finish, and Ryan Preece makes his first appearance up here after turning in another top 10, finding speed at tracks you wouldn't normally associate Preece's name with. They both replaced John Hunter Nemechek and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., who fell to 18th and 19th respectively. And finally, here's your Wisconsin driver update. In trucks, Luke Fenhaus had a quiet day but kept himself out of trouble, finishing 20th after starting 25th. Then Ty Majeski, who had a brief stint out front, didn't quite have the speed to keep up with the 07, 34, and 11. He finished 11th after starting 10th. Then in Xfinity, Parker Retzlaff was in the conversation a bit, having fought within the top half all day. Thankfully, this time not being caught in a wreck that wasn't his fault. He started 18th and finished 17th. And up top once more, it's Sam Mayer, with his second runner-up finish this year and 4th top 5. Winning speed has seemingly stuck with Mayer in every race he's been to so far, and one would think a win is coming, although with next week being Martinsville, it's likely all eyes will be on his teammate Sheldon Creed, as that is one of his best tracks. However, it will be interesting to see if Mayer can once again lock in another top 5 and finish above the other Dash for Cash drivers. Josh Bilicki did not compete at Homestead. Instead, the pilot of the DGM 91 was Myatt Snyder, who will also return to run at Martinsville. Bilicki is scheduled to be back behind the wheel of the 91 at Darlington in 2 weeks' time. Ty Majeski will solely represent Wisconsin in trucks at Martinsville next week, as Luke Fenhaus will step out of the 66, allowing Luke Baldwin to make his Truck Series debut with the paperclip. Fenhaus will return to the 66 in 3 weeks' time at Bristol. That's all for this week. For Racewatch 12, I'm Cade Heidemann.